Hi, I'm Ethan Estabrook. I'm majoring in ecology, evolution, and environmental biology, and with a minor in wildlife biology. Been involved in the herpetology lab here at Purdue, working with eastern box turtle genetics, eastern hellbenders, woodland salamanders, and a bunch of other herpetofauna. Okay, so my first animal were eastern tiger salamanders. I have two of them. I got them at their larval stage when they were aquatic, and I kept them long enough where they transformed into the adult form, and that was, I guess, the first critters I had. I now have two salamanders, two turtles, and a snake. This is an eastern tiger salamander. It's located throughout the Midwest. They're a really common species. This is an adult form when they're smaller. Similar with frogs, where they go from a tadpole stage to an adult frog stage. Salamanders have the juvenile stage where they are neotenic, where they essentially have external gills to breathe, to absorb oxygen underwater, and they have kind of web feeding and a more of a longer tail for movement in the water. As they become older, they turn into the terrestrial form, as you see now. They lose their external gills and they become more, I guess, terrestrial. This is a spiny softshell turtle. They're also fairly common around Indiana. These are really unique from other turtles because, I guess, since their name softshell, they have a soft shell, kind of leathery type of shell. He has really webbed hands. He's pretty feisty also. Really long neck. See his belly's kind of meaty almost. They're really quick. Like, people say turtles are slow. This guy is quick. It's a map turtle. It's also commonly found around Indiana rivers. They kind of like more fast flowing river type of settings as opposed to ponds. Map turtles have a kind of a spiny ridges on the back of their shell, and on the back they kind of got pointy points to their shell also. This one's a fairly young one. I caught this guy in southern Indiana, working with endangered hellbender salamanders. He's pretty cool. He's fun to watch swimming around in his tank. This is California king snake. They're native to California. King snakes are really cool because part of their diet is to eat other snakes. And what's really cool about this guy, part of his diet are actually rattlesnakes. He is immune to rattlesnake venom, and so he's pretty badass. I enjoy having these reptiles and amphibians because I'm really interested in them. When I have people come over, I like to educate people on essentially how snakes aren't slimy. Snakes are really good pets to have. Turtles are real neat. Everybody likes them. So I like to get that kind of wow factor from my friends and family. It doesn't take much to maintain reptiles and amphibians. They're really easy pets. As with my snake, I could feed him once a month and he'll be fine, and cleaning his tank out isn't much effort either. He poops as much as he eats, so it's very rarely, and once he does that, you just take it out, throw it away. Same way with my turtles. I got filters on their tanks, so they do most of the work. And same with my salamanders. Relatively easy creatures to have. Startup costs are sort of expensive, as with these turtles. Tanks cost some money. Heat lamps, some UV light cost some money. But after like the initial startup costs, they're relatively cheap. Right now I just have to buy kind of new filters for the new filter pads for the filters, turtle food. So they're not a big deal. Snake eats mice. Mice are relatively cheap. Same with salamanders, eat worms. So the reason why I have these reptiles and amphibians are because I'm really interested in them and would like to someday do some more research and to improve conservation efforts to essentially help save some of these species that are going extinct.
Hi, my name is Derek Calhoun. I'm a biotechnology major at Ivy Tech. The first exotic animal I got was Lucy, my Chilean rose hair. She was really a lot of fun because, I mean, it's not like anything that anybody I knew of at the time had before. So just like watching her grow, watching her like kind of act in her habitat and in her tank. I just found the whole thing really interesting. So I kept going from there. I collected just tarantulas for a while, and then I had a friend that that gave me my bearded dragon, and then my 6th grade science teacher was the one that started me with axolotls. This is my bearded dragon. He's about 5-6 years old. I got him when he was adult, so I'm not entirely sure how old he is, but they're native to Australia and they live out in the desert, so he likes it really warm. They're omnivores, so they eat like vegetation and insects and stuff. And some larger ones I've heard, like people will feed them pinky mice if they get really big, but I think he's about as big as he's gonna get. But yeah, bearded dragons are pretty fun. They have usually have pretty unique personalities, like per lizard, and they're really easy to take care of. 2 of the pets I'm really proud of having are they're called axolotls. Their actual name is a Mexican axolotl, but it's the only kind of axolotl there is. They're an endangered species. They're actually extinct in the wild, but like it's usually pretty hard to get a hold of one. And I've had one in the past. He lived to be like 11, which their normal lifespan's 9, so that was pretty cool. And then I got 2 new ones. They're still immature, like they're still babies, but they're really fun to have. They don't really do a whole lot. They just kind of sit in their tanks, but like just being able to take care for some like an endangered species, I think is really cool. And the other 4 pets that I have are tarantulas. I have a bunch of different kinds. Most of them, or well, all of them, come from Central America. The biggest one that I have is the Goliath bird eater. It's the world's largest species of tarantula. The one that I have has about a 8-inch leg span right now, or the leg span's about 8 inches wide. But when it's full grown, it'll be about a foot. Leg span's about a foot long. But I've only had it a couple years. One of them, it's the only tarantula that I can't pick up because, like, since it's so big, it gets agitated really easy. The second biggest one that I have is the first tarantula I ever had. It's a Chilean rose hair. Her name's Lucy. I've had her about 9 years now, and I can pick her up and do whatever with her. Like, she's really easy to handle and really docile tarantula. But the next biggest one is my Mexican red-kneed tarantula. It's the most colorful one because it has orange patches on what would be its knees on its legs. And then it's got kind of an orange marking on its head. It is temperamental at times, but it usually doesn't cause too many problems. And then I've got one, it's still considered a juvenile tarantula, but it's a Mexican red rump. and they get that name from orangish red. Their abdomen's orangish red, and then the rest of them is kind of a dark blue, which is kind of cool. But when it's full grown, it'll be about the same size as my Chilean rose hair, but it's still got a couple years to go before it's full grown. So maintenance wise, it's about as easy as you could probably find. Most of them, the tarantulas only need fed like once, twice a week, depending on how old they are. The bearded dragon and the axolotls need fed about every day, but their food's fairly cheap. Like with the bearded dragon, you can feed it lettuce or crickets or basically whatever you have on hand, vegetable-wise at least. The axolotls have a special type of food, but it's not terribly expensive. It's pretty easy to get a hold of. You just have to get a hold of one of the axolotl colonies online. But that's pretty much all the maintenance that really goes into them. So I think it's just really fun to watch them. Like we don't have anything like that around here, and just how they interact with everything and how they grow and everything is just really different compared to a lot of stuff that we're normally used to seeing. So and then like the satisfaction of like having a pet and watching it grow and thrive and that kind of thing is pretty gratifying.
I'm Jessica Rodkey. I'm a junior at Purdue University. I'm studying wildlife science and anthropology. My minors are entomology and forensic science. I have 3 cats. There's Luna and Kisa and Chicken, kitchen fish, which is a goldfish, a mouse, his name is Mr. Harrison, my beta's name is Kiss, my leopard gecko's name is Leo, my guinea pig's name is Patricia because I got her on St. Patrick's Day. My scorpion's name is Zodi. I have 2 gerbils. I kind of call them Hu and Hot because they're Mongolian gerbils. Daisy is the bearded dragon. Rumi is my tortoise. I have a tomato hornworm. The dog's name is Autumn, and the snake we just kind of call Snaky. I don't really get my animals like specific breeds. I just, most of them are rescues. I started out, my 3 cats are all rescues that I brought in that had been dumped. The guinea pig was one that was sick at the pet store, so most of them, and then the leopard gecko and the bearded dragon I rescued from my neighbor's kids who weren't taking care of them, so I got them for free, and that's what most of my pets are. I just kind of take in the broken ones. I can't help it. One of my favorite stories is actually my gerbils. I went to the pet store and somebody had dumped a bunch of gerbils and they had them for free, and actually the first one that I got, he only has 3 legs. And I wanted to get his sister, who also had 3 legs, but you can't have a male and a female gerbil, so I actually have the 3-legged baby and his daddy. And one time the cats got in my room and the gerbil got loose, and the larger one was just very beside himself until we found the little one in a vent down on the 1st floor. And they were very excited to see each other. My scorpion is more of a cryptic pet. People like to look at that, but nobody wants to touch it. And but she's the showstopper, the bearded dragon. Everybody really likes to come, and they're really surprised that her spines are actually really soft, and she likes to sit on your shoulder, and she has a really funny personality, everybody always says. So my first exotic animal was actually my leopard gecko, and the bearded dragon. They came together, like I said, from my neighbor's house. And as you can see, I mean, most of my pets are kind of desert or more arid species, so they're actually really easy to maintain. The gecko and the scorpion just eat crickets. They're like $1 for a dozen, and then the tortoise and the bearded dragon just eat salad. So it's nice because then I can kind of have salad around the house and I can force myself to eat it too. So it's actually really easy to keep them. I mean, someday when I'm financially stable, I'd like to have a dog, I suppose. I used to have a Kenyan sand boa, and I would really like to, once I kind of, for my school right now, I go a lot of places during the summer, so I can't have a lot of high maintenance pets, so I'll probably get a snake at the end of the summer, fill that void.